Hi Year 9, welcome to GCSE English. In this short video, I'm very simply going to talk you through what a GCSE in English will include. Now, the first thing I'll point out is I've got a question on the board there to say why choose this subject. And you don't really have a choice, I'm afraid. English is a GCSE that is compulsory, so you will all be doing your GCSEs in English. And you also get 2 qualifications from your study of English. So by the end of year 11, you'll receive a GCSE in English literature and a separate GCSE in English language. So just so you're clear on that. Now, when we speak about future careers for this particular subject, I think what's really important for you guys to remember is that most courses in further education will require you to have at least a grade 4 in English, if not sometimes much higher. And that is so you can demonstrate to that college, that apprenticeship, that A-level course, that you have a really high standard of reading and writing, and you're able to continue your education. Now, if you were to carry on your English study after GCSE and take it further into A-level, or even to university level, you can follow some of these career paths. Okay, so some of the career paths that are listed on the PowerPoint right now. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm just going to talk you through what English literature looks like and what English language looks like and how we study that at the GCSE Academy. So we'll start off by talking about English literature. Now, first and foremost, just so you're clear, English literature is the study of plays, poems, or novels, okay? So slightly different from English language, which includes a little bit of creative writing. So at the GCSE for English literature, we study the following texts. Now, we study a text called An Inspector Calls. It's a play, and it's a crime investigation where an inspector arrives and questions a family about the death of a young woman. So it's a really, really great play, and lots of our students really enjoy that. Another aspect of our course is we study Shakespeare's Macbeth. So quite gory, quite bloodthirsty story of 11th century Scotland, and obviously the great playwright Shakespeare. We also study A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens, which is our 19th century literature, looking at what literature was like in Victorian England. And then the final aspect of our study is poetry, and this comes in 2 forms. First and foremost, we study a collection of poems called Power and Conflict, and there are a variety of war poems, but also poems about conflict, okay, or even power, powerful leaders of the past. The second part of the poetry study is an unseen poem. So we will practice and teach you the skills. If you read a poem you've never seen before, could you write an essay on it? Now, what we'll move on to is how you're assessed in English literature. Okay, so in English literature, you, at the end of year 11, when you come to your final exams, you will sit 2 separate papers. So paper 1 will test you on your understanding of Shakespeare's Macbeth and A Christmas Carol. It's an hour and 45 minutes, and it makes up 40% of your final GCSE grade. Paper 2, which, as you can probably work out, comes after paper 1 in your final exams, is much longer. It's a 2-hour and 15-minute exam, makes up 60% of your final GCSE grade. And in that paper, you are tested on your knowledge of An Inspector Calls and poetry. Now, on screen now, what I have done is I've just selected one of my current year 11 students, 1 paragraph from them. Okay, so 1 paragraph from them, just so you can understand the standard that we expect when you are analysing the writing of, in this case, we were looking at Macbeth. So this is just one example. This would be looking at a grade 6, a very high grade 6 at GCSE. So this is a good paragraph, good strong paragraph. So that is how you're assessed for English literature. Moving on to English language. English language is your separate GCSE, and it tests your ability to read carefully, read a text you haven't seen before, but also your standard of writing. So there are 2 aspects of English language. The first part of the course looks at creative writing. Okay, so looking at stories and narratives. And the second part looks at exploring writer's perspective. So looking at non-fiction texts, maybe looking at autobiographies, newspaper articles, speeches. So slightly different. What you are tested on is 50% of your English language GCSE is testing your reading ability. So can you read a short extract, usually about a page long, and then write some responses on it? Analyse how the writer uses language or how the writer uses structure. In the non-fiction one, the non-fiction paper, you also have to compare. So you'd have 2 short extracts and you'd have to compare how those writers express themselves. Now, the way in which you're assessed for English language is, again, you have 2 papers. Okay, both of these papers are an hour and 45 minutes and they are equally distributed. So they're both worth 50% of your final GCSE grade. 50% will come from reading and 50% will come from your writing. So section A will always test you on reading, looking at what you understand about the extract you have, and section B will test you on your ability to write. For paper 1, it's all creative, so it'll be your descriptive writing or your story writing, whereas for paper 2, it's non-fiction, so it'll be testing your ability to write persuasively. Now on screen now, I've just put across 2 different examples from year 11 at the moment, from some of their descriptive writing. Okay, they're just extracts from their entire work. Work's usually about 3 pages long, but these are just 2 strong paragraphs that our current year 11 worked through in the recent weeks. So just so you're clear on the standard of writing that we're expecting as you move into GCSE. And all it is, guys, is a case of practice. What we expect from you is full commitment in the lessons, as we always see in our English classes, ensuring you complete all your home learning tasks, and we will make sure you get a really strong grade in English, in both English language and English literature. Now, just to finish off, I just thought I'd suggest some useful websites, some websites that might be of use for you. So Seneca is really strong for lots of GCSE subjects, as is BBC Bitesize. SparkNotes is quite useful to understand maybe characters or the storyline of a particular play or novel that you're studying on. If you're not quite sure of Macbeth, it's useful to have a look at SparkNotes. And then finally, Edmodo. Edmodo is very similar to Seneca. It has quizzes and different tests on there and lots of material to help you revise. So those are some of the useful websites that you can use for English language and literature. I hope that's been helpful and that's informed you a little bit about what your English GCSEs will look like. You will have usually about 4 hours a week of English, and you will have the same teacher for both subjects. So there's consistency across both. I hope that makes sense. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope you enjoy your GCSE in English.